After speaking, he said, "Ocean shipping is the next very important business of the Su family. Although we pursue a global strategy, we still attach great importance to the Japanese market in East Asia. Block business and reached a cooperation with the Ito family. Don't know what Mr. Ito wants." Takehiko Ito nodded and said seriously, "The Ito family has always wanted to reach a cooperation with the Su family on this business. I also talked to your son and daughter 2 days ago." When Zin heard this, his eyebrows showed a bit of joy, and he thought to himself, "It seems that cooperation with the Ito family can be a matter of course." Zin was thinking triumphantly, but Takehiko had already planned to use the dragging technique. Seeing him, he changed the conversation and said apologetically, "But Mr. Su, you can see my current physical condition. The doctor said that I have to stay under observation in the hospital for at least half a month. Moreover, even if I leave the hospital, I will have to rest for a few months when I go home. For the time being, I may not have much energy to focus on business operations. Therefore, whether or not this cooperation should be carried out or how it should be carried out, it may take a while to give you a clear answer." Zin frowned when he heard this. He was naturally not satisfied with Ito's plan. However, he also knows that Takehiko has just amputated his limbs. To put it ugly, the blood scabs on the wounds are still fresh. At this time, it is indeed unrealistic for him to immediately push such large cooperation forward. Moreover, Ito's daughter seems to be very young, about the same age as his daughter Ziyu. In this case, it is really difficult for him to draw conclusions immediately and move forward. So, Zin said seriously, "Mr. Ito really needs to take a good rest during this time. As for the specific cooperation matters, when you are discharged from the hospital, I will come again. Then I will visit the mansion and talk about the details of the cooperation. How is it?" Takehiko Ito nodded readily and smiled. "When the lower body recovers, if Mr. Su comes to Tokyo, he must have a good banquet here." Zin smiled slightly, and said, "Then I'll bother Mr. Ito." He said, "By the way, Mr. Ito, I have one more thing to remind you of friendship." Takehiko hurriedly said, "Mr. Su, please say it." Zin said, "As far as I know, the Wade family of Eastcliff also wants to follow our pace and take the development route of ocean shipping. If I am not wrong, they should also want to contact you here and talk about project cooperation." After a pause, Zin said, "However, the strength of the Wade family is far worse than ours, so I suggest that Mr. Ito doesn't have to consider them, as long as he concentrates on raising his body and waits for the body to recover, then talk to the Su family. Comprehensive cooperation must be the best choice." Takehiko Ito nodded and smiled, and said, "To not hide from Mr. Su, I have a certain understanding of the Wade family. Their ocean shipping business hasn't started at all. It's just that the Sus family has improved, so they are trying to catch up. It is really difficult for them to become a big game, so in my mind, the Su family is ranked the highest priority." Zin said with great satisfaction, "Mr. Ito really has eyes like a torch. The Wade family just wants to follow a wave of wind, but they don't have any resources at all in this field. Let alone cooperate with the Ito family, even it is China's domestic port resources, and we will suppress it without a stand." Takehiko smiled and said, "Mr. Su, don't worry, I will never cooperate with the Wade family. If I want to choose between the Su family and the Wade family, I will definitely choose Mr. Su." Zin laughed. "Oh, Mr. Ito, with your words, I can go back to China with confidence." Takehiko asked, "When does Mr. Su want to return to China?" Zin said, "Just these 2 days, mainly because private planes are restricted from taking off from Tokyo. I wait here for 2 days. If the takeoff permit is not open within 2 days, then I will buy a ticket and take a civil aviation flight back." Takehiko Ito nodded and said with emotion, "As far as I know, Mr. Su's previous handwriting was too big, and the Tokyo authorities did have some criticism." Zin waved his hand indifferently. "The TMPD and the Department of Homeland Security are all dogs. Ryoto Matsumoto was a sinister and vicious person. Don't know how many people would get killed if I let him in the world. I was not only acting for the sky, but also protecting the public order in Tokyo. After he finished speaking, he looked at Takehiko and said seriously, "Mr. Ito, aren't you the direct victim of Matsumoto? If I can't kill him, he might have sent someone to the hospital to chase you down, like a ghost. Know how many people he will kill in Tokyo." Seeing Zin's righteousness and boldness, Ito couldn't help being amazed by the thick skin of this man. He cursed secretly in his heart. "Zin, Zin, you stinky shameless thing. You killed Matsumoto, kill Matsumoto's right-hand man, and even kill his younger brother. This is understandable, but you kill the whole family. Young and old, not sparing one. What the hell is this?" The saying that it's not good for your wife and children is still what your Chinese ancestors said. How come you are here, and even the basic morals and justice are ignored? Now what you mean by this, were you destroying Matsumoto's family, or were you protecting me in disguise? Do I have to thank you for killing Matsumoto's family? What AFC king bastard logic? However, on the surface, Takehiko still said with emotion, "Oh. This is really thanks to Mr. Su, otherwise, I may really still have countless dangers and threats."